Okay, here I am. Okay, let's have at it. Let's have at it. Okay, Semetary. You know, Semetary, he dropped something back in January, and we had another Haunted Mound project this year too, Turnabout. Turnabout giving us our second project before Buckshot too, and I'm still wondering when Buckshot's going to come by, but yeah, now we have a small EP, 5 songs. There's only one other EP that's sort of like this, and that was War Boy, which I also reacted to this year and listened to. Semetary's been pretty big on my channel. The Semetary fans have came out endlessly, and, you know, it's certainly... I get it. It's a weird sound, right? People want to know what the hell's going on. I certainly like Semetary stuff. It hasn't reached past a wall for me, for sure. But I don't know what to expect from this new project. So let's just dive into it and see if it, you know, what Semetary is doing. Okay, if he's changing the game.
The graveyard.
King of the Graveyard, first song on here. This was a single too that came out a week ago. Okay, I don't know. This is the problem, okay? I will certainly say that this is the major problem I'm having with Semetary, is although I've liked the vast majority of their stuff, every time there's a new album, every time I'm reacting to an album, I'm like, this is... like, where's the change? You know, where is this direction going for this artist? Because it feels so much like other songs they've released. Too much from the structure, from like that hook. You know, like it's doing what is required, I guess. But I don't know. On first go, it's not hitting me as one of their best songs. But that beat is still nuts. You know, like that beat is still bang, right? So if that can sustain me on repeated listens, then okay.
In the graveyard, turning till the fucking morning.
Pacing of this was a little off. Maybe because it has a feature, but this verse is long. Gang was Semetary Turnabout. Turnabout's just on here for a small little bit, and it's barely felt too. The thing is too, like his voice just seems lower too, like in the sense where it's like this beat is so overpowering. I felt like we kind of needed more energy from him to sort of sustain this screaming that Semetary is providing for us on this. But first off, I'm just gonna say, like, this song starts off and you're repeating this little hook of 3 a.m. gang, 3, and it's like we just got King of the Graveyard doing that, starting off the same way, and I'm like, fuck, man, like, what are we doing? Long, lengthy verses on this, but I just feel like that works to its detriment. Like, it's kind of taking me out of that pacing, out of that rhythm. Again, what can I say, though? That the beat, that bass, it's still so shocking, it's still so intense that it's like, I can still be in there for the ride, right? But on repeated listens, that's when I'm gonna find out if this is actually worthy of my time, basically. So I don't know.
Scream mask. I'm smoking cake, I don't smoke no gas. Nah, you're so fine in that red dress. I'm covered in blood, I'm pouring in the mud. You can call me what you want. That look like a graveyard, I don't give a fuck. Right, walking phantom into the dead.
I don't know if I like that enough.
He's talking to me like everything's so fucked up. I don't got no answers for you in the night I live. Johnny trying to get me up, but baby you're not my leader. I don't got no hope, so I'm going back to my house to the dead, house to the dead, house to the dead, house to the dead. Great man. Yeah. I'm like, cause I never give a fuck. Bitch, I'm still I go in my color. Bitch, I'm still in the night, you know it's fuck the sun. All them hours, cause I'm ready just for fun. If I told you I loved you, that was high as fuck.
I like this little change up. That bridge was not bad. I think the chorus, just on a lyrical basis, the chorus could have been more clever. Or, sorry, not the chorus, sorry, the verse. The verse could have been more clever, because at the end of the day, I feel like Semetary often enough is, even though it's silly stuff, it's often you put enough imagery where it's like, huh, okay, right? But I'm not feeling that on Cutter in the Club, I feel. I think it's wild.
I don't care about sale. I don't care about sale. I want to swing to the moon. I don't know. There's a choir. I want your blood swinging to the drum. Ride around, set the woods on fire. Come on, bitch, I ain't
Okay, now that it's old now, right? It's old now. It worked, and now it's not interesting. Okay, I'm having a very, again, I may be wrong, right? I want to be wrong because I haven't had such a sharp negative reaction to Semetary, and I think my main reason why I'm having a negative reaction is because what's the change up, okay? What's the direction that Semetary is trying to go? Or just Haunted Mound alone too, right? Again, out the gate I can say I probably like Turnabout's new album more. Why? Because that thing was fucking buttloaded with so many songs that, there was enough that we're going to be able to hit. But here, with these 5 tracks, it's just not engaging enough. Already, there's no, just on first go, there's no hooks that matter to me. None, right? Cutter in the Club was okay at the start, but then it gets fucking boring, right? He's doing his little vocalizing that's kind of working. I don't care about sleep anymore. Gets boring, right? I'm just not understanding what he's trying to do here. I'm not. I'm not finding anything of value with this. Maybe I can sort of get more enjoyment for the beats later on, but it's one of those things where it needs to stick. It needs to stick. And I do think that just trying to, have a hardcore noise to this, it's impactful, sure, but is it long lasting? Is it enough, right? That's only one piece of the pie here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not I'm not happy with this at all. Right now, I'm thinking of just giving it a 1.5 out of 10. It's been a while since I've given a score this low. And this was the type of score that I would have given to Semetary like years ago when I didn't understand this music, right? Like that was me with the 100 Acre Wrist before, and when I gave a re-listen to 100 Acre Wrist, I for sure thought it was quite a creative project. But this, I don't know what the purpose of this was. I'm going to come back to it. I'm sure I'll be more positive when I come back to it. I'm sure I will be. But I don't know where that positivity is going to land. Because one thing I can say is that there was already more interesting tracks on the new Turnabout project, and I wasn't even a big fan of that. So I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we have it. Okay, King of the Graveyard. I listened to it 2 more times, this EP, and it's just fucking not working for me, man. It's not sticking with me by any means, okay? It was a 1.5, and I've decided to boot it up to a 2.5, okay? Basing this reason off, like King of the Graveyard was working for me better. That bass is like, that bass sells. And I still do think that the I Don't Care About Sleep Anymore, I do think that hook is kind of working for me. But at the end of the day, like the one problem I'm having with this too is, fuck, man, like this bass for a lot of these other majority of songs isn't as strong as I'd want it to be. It's not as engaging as I'd want it to be. And then it's also just cutting away from any sound underneath. And again, I've listened to enough Semetary, okay, to this point where I get that the bass, like, overclouds everything, okay? But I also am able to grab other parts from it. I'm still able to take what's in the back enough, right? Or, I don't know. The one big, I guess it's 2 albums. No, 3 albums. I'd say there's, like, the 3 big albums. The Rainbow Bridge 3, 100 Acre Wrist, and the first one with Ghost Mountain. I can't remember right now the name. But those 3 are able to, like, well, first off, the one with Ghost Mountain, the first one, has a much more different sound that I think works. But for these other 2, I think it's really working on specific niche, like a memorable sound for each of these songs. This is just not the case, okay? This all fucking blends into one, and it's just not working for me. This is boring. I keep wanting to take my headphones off, but that's just a Semetary thing because it's so fucking loud. Oh my god. Lyrically, it's not striking out, you know, like I understand that the lyrics repeat throughout, and I'm even thinking about Butcher House. Maybe there's some catchy moments, even good lyrical moments on that album still, right? When that dropped at the start of January, honestly, I do think that Semetary was still having it with Butcher House, okay? By no means a perfect album, not up as his best, but it's still there. It's still pretty consistent. There's still songs I go back to on that, but yeah, I don't want this. I don't want this. And one of the main things that I have to say about this is this trajectory that Semetary has taken us on, or not even just Semetary, because even with that Turnabout album, is how long can we ride on this sound without change? How long can we do that, okay? All artists change, or at least having some sort of noticeable difference within the songs, right? That as I'm listening to it, I know why I like this song, I know why I like this song, why it stands out, because I'm not feeling this here. And they haven't always had it for sure, but, you know, a song can stand on its own, at least for the most part, right? But I'm not feeling it here. I'm not feeling it here. We can be lucky. This is just a small EP. I'll be here for what's next, but this is just easily the worst thing I've heard, easily, from not just Semetary, but Haunted Mound, right? Because even though I was upset with the Turnabout project, there was a handful of stuff that I could still take from it, you know? It was just too long. There was a lot of bad stuff on it, right? This, it's, oh, we have this single, you know, abrasive sound, nice. Everything else, no. Okay. If there's anything else you want to see me react to, anything at all, put a comment down below. And thank you for watching. Peace.